So here we are in my abode, and here is Colin Edwin, renowned bass player, very respected bass player.
Thank you.
Very technical bass player.
Maybe.
One of the best bass players in the world?
Don't go that far.
Is that pushing it?
That's pushing it, definitely.
Okay. And viewers will mainly know Colin from the band Porcupine Tree.
Yeah, you might know.
He's been in Porcupine Tree quite a long time.
Quite a long time, yeah. A long-running institution.
It's what it is. But you've been on a little bit of a hiatus.
That's right. The Porcupine Tree haven't done anything since 2010 now, so we're taking a bit of time out.
Why is that?
Well, we basically agreed to take some time off at the end of the last tour because it was an incredibly intense period of working together, and it was starting to get a little bit unhealthy, perhaps. And everybody needed a break, so we took the break, and then so far the break's carried on. Everyone's got involved in other things, so at some point there's maybe a plan to do some more, but there's no plan at the moment, so maybe it'll happen, but we'll see. Okay,
but what that has done is given you the opportunity to get involved with lots of other things, and you seem to have your bass playing fingers in lots of different pies at the moment.
Yeah. Well, basically, I tend to find one thing leads to another. So one of the first things I did outside of Porcupine Tree when we took a break was I started working with an Italian guy called Eraldo Bernocchi. He's a very interesting guitar player, sound designer, and we made a record together as Metallic Taste of Blood. And through him, really, I got involved with a whole load of other people who are all very creative and all very interactive and wanting to do stuff. So next weekend I'm going to play with Obarke, which is another one of his projects that he got me involved in. We've carried on doing Metallic Taste of Blood. Through the label that Metallic Taste of Blood is on, I ended up making a duo record with another bass player. And lots of other stuff has come out of those different projects, so I'm never short of something to do, which is great.
The sound of Metallic is quite different from Porcupine Tree.
I don't really know, I'm very close to stuff, so I can't judge it like other people would judge it, but I like to think that there's perhaps a thread running through it that's identifiable, all the different things I've been involved in, because I guess that's why you get asked to do things. People like an aspect of what you do, or people get interested in what you've done before and think you're a good fit for something else, but it's really about interacting with whoever I'm interacting with at the time. That's what it comes down to.
You've kind of been tagged, I'm going to say it, you know what I'm going to say, don't you?
I know what you're going to say. Yeah.
You've been tagged with you've been tagged with the folk scene. No, I'm joking. You've been tagged with prog rock.
Yeah.
But I think over the years prog rock's not such a dirty word anymore, is it?
It started off being something that was really the kiss of death.
Yeah.
And with Porcupine Tree we tried very hard not to get too associated with this kind of this word, because it always had a negative connotation, and nobody would write about you, or beyond the sort of hardcore of people that knew about the band and loved it. There was always the bigger audience that we felt we could get to, but the gatekeepers of the press don't like, at the time, they really didn't like that word.
Because Porcupine Tree are like huge, but they're still under the radar.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely under the radar.
Would you say that is down to this prog rock tag?
That might have something to do with it, but you're right, it's no longer such a dirty word. I wouldn't say it was perhaps a cool tag, but it's definitely something that it doesn't put people off anymore.
Yeah.
It seems to have lost its kiss of death, if you like. I've just brought this round to show Paul today. This is your copy, Paul.
Thank you very much.
This is the new Metallic Taste of Blood album, which is coming out next month. So it's the second album. It's slightly different to the first one. It's myself and Eraldo Bernocchi again from Italy, and we have a drummer called Ted Parsons who was in Killing Joke and Prong and Godflesh, those kind of people, and a keyboard player he's an English guy who lives in Norway called Roy Powell. So it's different lineup to last time, but it's still myself and Eraldo. and that's coming out on Rare Noise in May.
Right. And when you play with these other musicians, how different is it from playing with a regular band setup?
I really like the idea that you turn up and play with people without really, you kind of find your common ground rather than discussing your common ground or developing your common ground. You find it as you're working together. So there's never any big discussion with anybody. It just seems to be that you kind of get together and then you sort of make sense of each other as you go along, and you end up with what you end up with, which I'm glad to say usually turns out to be, in the case of everyone I seem to have worked with, very positive and really interesting,
And is that very different from the way that Porcupine Tree work together? Yeah,
well, it's different because when you have a setup that's the same people for a long time, there's a big strength in that, and that you have a chemistry that you fit into a particular role because of the way everybody is, and that's fine and that's natural. But when you're in a situation where you're collaborating with people, in my experience, you're just finding that fit much quicker, or you're discovering that fit, which is just as exciting, or sometimes even more so, because you don't know how you're going to fit together until you do it.
Is it a bit like a one-night stand?
It could be.
I'm probably going somewhere I shouldn't be going with this. Tell us about what we're going to see now, because we're going to see one of your latest projects.
Talking about the idea of one thing leading to another, this is myself and the vocalist from Abaque, which is another project I have with Eraldo, Lorenzo Esposito Fornassari. It's me and Lorenzo, and there's a guitarist from Italy called Carmelo Pipitoni who I met. He's a very interesting player, unusual guitar player. And Pat Mastelotto is on drums from King Crimson, talking about progressive rock. You can't get more progressive rock than King Crimson, but Pat Mastelotto's on it as well. So it's a new project we have. Rather than go to a label and wait 6 months while they work out what they do with it, we decided just to put the record out really quickly. So it's an independent release, and it's available on a website called Music Razor. So we have this video, which is just to give people an idea what the music's about. It's a little bit dark. There's some dark imagery. But hopefully it's very thought-provoking as well.
Right. Okay, we're going to see that video now. What's it all called?
It's called Pyre.
Thanks for joining me today, Colin, and I'm sure you'll be back again with more projects soon.
That's great. Thanks, Paul.
Cheers, Colin.
Cheers.
Just died as a fine gold, and so spend the day on my load. Come on, bury me, or bury me with your fireworks. And round flies the dove between his wings. Oh, sunny day, oh, sunny night.